It's November 22nd, 2022, and you are listening to the Take the Over show presented by Live Casino. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much. We are thankful that you are here watching with us. We're going to say thanks a bunch because it is Thanksgiving week.
Thank you, Derek. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing okay. I did not have a great week betting-wise last week, but I think we're doing the right things to make this the right week.
What are you thankful for right now?
I'm thankful for this show.
Okay.
I'm thankful we get to spend time together.
All right.
During the football season, talking about sports.
That's cute.
That's very nice.
That was
I'm
cute.
thankful for a lot of things.
Hey.
But that comes by right now. How about you?
I'm thankful for this show. I'm thankful for all the people out there that listen to this show. And thankful for the Live Casino for letting us be part of this show. But I am more thankful for 3 games on Thanksgiving Day. Like Drew said, we had a rough week last week. Let's not try to sugarcoat it. We're in a bit of a schneid a little bit here. The last couple weeks have been a little rough for us.
I am scared of double-digit lines, by the way. I just wanted to immediately take that back.
I literally said
less than ideal.
Yeah, 100%. And also, who could have predicted the Bengals or the Ravens and the Panthers would be that competitive of a game when you have the Ravens who are playing for everything and the Panthers have an interim head coach. Like, no one could have predicted that. But here we are. Week 12. This is when teams, and speaking of double-digit lines, there's quite a few of them this week.
Yeah.
This is when teams really kind of separate themselves. But we get 3 games on Thanksgiving Day. I think I was 3-5 last week. Drew was 2-5 last week. You're gonna have that.
We're giving you we're giving you the correct picks. It's up to you to decide if it's to go with us or against us.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so far we're getting the right picks. I mean, if they just faded me, that's 5-2. If you're fading me,
that's right.
You're having a great time.
Yeah.
So shout out to you as well. I'm thankful for you.
And for the first time all season, we took a shot of Fireball before the show.
Yeah, but together.
And last time we did that, I mean, we were hitting at 70%.
Yeah, correct.
So I think this is the week we turn it around, starting with the 12 o'clock game on Thursday, which is
really got away from the foundation of this show, which is the Fireball shot before the show. Yeah,
so it was completely asinine on our part. I can't believe we did that.
But yeah, we do have 12:30 football.
12:30
on Thursday. Yeah.
So you get your family coming to your house.
Some people are doing dinner at 12:30, dinner at 10 a.m. I mean, dinners, there's no limits to the times you could put on dinner.
That's true.
So you could be watching football at dinner.
Dude. And it's a good game. And it's the Buffalo Bills playing at Detroit. Detroit's getting 9.5. What are your initial thoughts on this? That's a lot.
That is a lot. I asked you before the show if you thought Detroit could win 2 in a row, and you told me.
I said, well, good news is they've won 3 in a row, so I think they can do it.
And the Lions, I mean, this has to be the most optimistic. I don't know. I'd have to see and do some stats on the last time that the Lions were winning 3 in a row going into the Thanksgiving Day game.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that's the most optimism that's going to be at a Thanksgiving Day game. For the last however long. I mean, you won 3 in a row with a coach you believe in, and now Jared Goff is. I mean, still Jared Goff. He didn't have any touchdowns last week, but
they fired a defensive coach, and their defense went from historically bad to semi relevant in the NFL. So I think that's a important piece of information here. The other thing that really interests me about this game is Josh Allen's not playing at 100%. He still has that injury, and 2 games in 4 days. All right, so they went from Buffalo, took a bus to Detroit because they couldn't fly out because of all that snow they got in Detroit. Went back to Detroit to kind of keep this week as normal as possible. Went back to Buffalo to keep this week as normal as possible. To go back to Detroit. There's a lot of motion there. Probably there's no live practices this week. It's all walkthroughs. And now they're going to go and play a game 4 days after they just played a game against the Cleveland Browns where Josh Allen threw for 197 yards. He threw 20 or 35 times. So I don't know. His elbow could be an issue.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week too. If that was an issue, and I think it was. I think we saw that it was not 100%. So I don't know. I mean, I think this the optimism that the Lions have to have going into this game.
Yeah.
I think not. And being as scared as I am now of double-digit lines,
this is close.
And it's -9.5 for the Bills is -118. So it's trending towards that -10 for them. I think I like the Lions here, but I'm not going to do anything with this first game.
Yeah, I know we're gonna be like pressured to take action on like all the games because of the because there's 3 games on. They're all in primetime games, things like that. We don't have to. Do I love all the Thursday games? No. Will I bet all of them 100%? But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna make picks like for the show for these. But this is one I like. The Lions are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 as a home underdog. Buffalo is 5-4-1 as an away favorite. All right, so the Lions are coming off a big win last week against the New York Giants, and are showing a lot of life. Honestly, I really do believe that the Lions are showing a ton of life since they fired their coach, defensive coach. They put up 9 points against the Packers. They let up 9 points against the Packers and only 18 against the Giants, who have a pretty good offense. They're also on a 3-game win streak, which we found out they can win back-to-back games on a 3-game win streak. And again, there's 2 games in 4 days against Josh Allen. I don't know. Give me the scrappy Lions plus 9.5 in a backdoor cover.
Yeah.
Give me the scrappy Lions in a backdoor cover.
Gun to my head, that's what I'm most comfortable with.
Yeah.
But as far as official picks for the show, I don't feel. And I'm also, I was 2-5 last week.
Yeah. So we'll save your picks. They're good.
But for what I feel, I do like the Lions' momentum. I think that that Josh Allen not being at 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna continue to show itself, and then the Lions, I think, can cover 9.5 pretty easily.
Yeah, and the team's playing hard for Dan Campbell, which they've been the entire they covered more games last year and this year than anybody thought they would. They're always underdogs. They're never favorites. So they kind of have that mentality of us against the world. So I'm going Lions plus 9.5. Drew leans that way. It's not an official pick. All right. That is not an official pick, but Drew leans that way.
Bonus pick. Who do you think's walking away with the
turkey leg?
Turkey leg, yeah.
I mean, the Bills are going to win this game, I think. So I'm going to say Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Von Miller.
I think the Lions could challenge for the win, and just to be on the other side of the coin, I think Jamal Williams can keep that, can get the turkey leg, and then I think the Lions do have a chance to challenge. Obviously, you have to win to get the turkey leg, right?
Yeah.
So I think the Lions can challenge for that and make it 4 in a row potentially.
John Madden. Oh, here's a guy. He likes turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
This is an interesting one. Usually on Thanksgiving Day, the FanDuel gives us some great prop lines, and if you're looking for a place to bet those prop lines, you can just hop down right out here to their live casino. They're open on Thanksgiving because they don't care about your family. No, I'm just kidding. They're open on Thanksgiving because all casinos are. So if you're looking for a place to spend Thanksgiving, maybe your family's into football, maybe your family's into fun, there is the restaurants should be open, I would think. The tables are going to be open. So you can pop right down here to live casino, place some bets, or you can just go down in the morning, place some bets, then hop over to your family's Thanksgiving feast and festivals. FanDuel always gives us some cool options and bets to place. And here's one that I like. Well, I'm going to ask you. I don't know if I like it, but I mean, I probably take it just because you only get the chance to do it on Thanksgiving. It is for any quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns on Thanksgiving Day, plus 180. I want to say any quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns. So there's six teams playing, 3 games, 6 teams. Any one of those quarterbacks throw for 4 touchdowns. So you have to think, Josh Allen's going against a terrible Lions defense. And the only reason I think this game covers is because the Lions offense kind of kicks it into gear and covers. I could see Dak doing it against the Giants. The Minnesota game, if it gets down to the Minnesota game, we've lost. Minnesota-New England game, we've lost this bet. So it's got to happen in the first 2 games. What do you think?
Kirk could definitely do it too. I mean,
you think against that New England defense? Though?
I mean, the Kirk Cousins, there's no limits to what his potential is at this point.
In prime time.
But yeah, there's no limits to what his potential is at this point. I think we're talking about Super Bowl, so you have to.
They lost 40-3 last week.
You have to think. I know. You have to think about these things that have to happen. I mean, it's an 8-win team still, 9-win team. That,
8-2.
That I think they've shown that they have a lot of skills. So, but I can see it. The 42.5 total. I think I can agree with you that we're not getting a 4.
Right.
But just to be a hint of optimism for my man Kirk. Thanks for listening.
He's got a lot of time.
He's
listening to this show and over the other show. He's got a lot of free time. Yeah. You think it gets?
No, I don't think anybody gets to 4. I just think it's. I don't think any of those quarterbacks are going to be slinging. And I think that there's going to be a lot of rushing TDs. As I don't know, I feel like we've seen a lot of those. Jamal Williams highlight from last week. He had 41 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
And each of his highlights was a 3-yard or less run into the end zone.
Right.
So I mean,
let's talk about who we know is going to score a touchdown on Thanksgiving. We know Zeke's going to score a touchdown on Thanksgiving because he jumps into the Salvation Army barrel, right? He does. You remember how he?
Yeah, maybe.
He
I don't think he has.
I think he had one last week. So there's a bet for Thanksgiving where Pollard and Zeke score 2 touchdowns. I think it's 2 touchdowns apiece though. So that's a lot.
Well, do you know what?
But it's like
those
plus 1,700.
Okay.
If you look at the Thanksgiving Day, we're gonna find this out for you because we want to make sure. I don't want to give you bad information here. It's Thanksgiving Day. Yep, I'm on the site right now. So Thanksgiving Day bets are. Here we go. Both Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott to score 2+ TDs each is plus 7,000. Well, now we're talking. well, now we're having a Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I can find a 20 in the
How do you feel about that? That's 4 touchdowns. That's so many touchdowns. But this team just put up 40 last week.
It's the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. It's anything could happen. I mean, that to me
that's worth a $10 bet.
Absolutely.
For 700?
For plus 7,000, absolutely.
Is that our hot bet? Is that our hot take of the week?
Yeah, might as well be for everybody.
Yeah. Hey, hot take for the week. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott scoring 2 touchdowns apiece.
Each.
4 touchdowns. That's never going to happen.
That's not a lot, though. You think about
that's
it.
That's 28 points.
With missed extra points, it's 24 points. I mean,
yeah.
It's not, you've seen teams score 24, right?
Yeah, okay. But you also have CeeDee Lamb. You also have Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's what they get you down there, and the defender catches them on the 2 or the 1.
Yep.
And then what are you going to do?
You're gonna
unless your name's Matt Canada, what are you gonna do?
You're gonna hand the ball off to Zeke. He's gonna score 2 touchdowns early.
Yeah.
And then Tony Pollard comes in because Zeke's sore because he's got a sore hamstring.
Yep.
And then Tony Pollard comes in. He puts 2 in there. You're walking away with 7,000 plus 7,000 odds.
Yeah. Don't be surprised whenever everybody's running out of that is not Pollard or Zeke and is not rushing if they get receiving a pass. Don't be surprised if they step out of the 1 of the 2 yard line.
Could you imagine? Zeke scores 2 early. Pollard scores 1. It's 3rd and 1. They're on the goal line.
I couldn't imagine.
And then Dak sneaks it.
That's
Dak sneaks it.
You have to just have $10 on it just because.
Yeah, for sure. That's a $10 bet just because. So before we get to that game, because we've already talked about it a little bit, Giants at Cowboys are also a 9.5 line. And I'll tell you this: there's been a ton of sharp money here on the early sharp money was on the Cowboys and the over. All right. Cowboys really turned it on last week, blew the doors off of a high-powered offense in the Vikings. The Cowboys are a top 5 defense, which I think can be a bad fit for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. This to me screams like, hey, if the sharp money's on the Dallas Cowboys at -9 and the over, this is the easiest take the over special of all time. True. This is the easiest take the over special of all time, where you get the Cowboys down to -3.5, which they should win by a touchdown, over 40.5, and that'll be at -104. So it's pretty close to even money. So you should just go ahead and put a lot of money on that.
3.5 and 40.5.
3.5, 40.5.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair.
Yeah.
A healthy Micah Parsons is a bad news for anybody, and I think
is good.
A Danny Dimes that tries to run around, that's especially bad news for that. So I don't see the Giants' offense working the same way unless the offensive line gets a big push. But I think we're going to see a lot of Zeke. We're going to see a lot of Tony Pollard. We're going to see 2 touchdowns apiece from them.
Yeah, so I mean that's good too, because then it's negative script that like they're throwing the ball a lot more.
Yep.
Let me see here. I just want to see what the Giants or what the Cowboys rush defense is like here. The Cowboys rush defense, actually, this is a good play here. Cowboys rush defense is 26th in the league. They're giving up 136 yards per game. So I kind of like Daniel Jones to go over his rush yards, especially in a primetime game on Thanksgiving Day. He's going to want to show off those wheels a little bit. So my play here is the Dallas Cowboys -3.5 over 40.5. That's -104, and then sprinkle a little bit on Daniel Jones over rushing yards, which that line should be up, but I'm going to say it's probably going to be like right around like 34 or something like that. So
let's take a look. I wouldn't be surprised if it was higher the way he's been playing. They've been having some of these quarterback rushing prop bets have been pretty spicy for what I've seen. They do not have the rushing prop up for Danny Dimes.
Regardless, I'm going over that. Do you have a play on this game?
I like your play. I mean, before you spoke, I was just thinking about the Giants +9.5. So I think I would probably take the opposite of that, and I would take the Giants up to +15.5. and then over 40.5. It's actually over. The total is 45.5 right now.
Yeah.
But that's what I would build that teaser for.
Giants plus what?
Giants plus 15.5, and
Okay.
then over 39.5.
Over 39.5. All right. I don't hate it because there's a way we can both win that one. So I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. Obviously, you're entitled to those picks. And again with this Giants team being a predominantly rush team, and we just said the Cowboys are like 26th in the league at rush defense. So I think that's a really realistic thing there. So we're locking in for that. And then we have our nightcap game, which will be the New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings, -2.5.
Give me a recap of the Patriots game last week. Did you watch?
Hey,
did you watch?
Hey,
I'm being serious. Like, what?
I watched.
How did it look?
Snap.
Like, what was good about
Zach
it? What was
Wilson
bad about
was 9 for 22 for 77 yards. He's an NFL quarterback.
Is he missing open players?
He overthrew 2 screen passes by 10 yards. This guy,
is he injured, or is it? Do you think it's?
Yeah, mentally.
Is it? There's a call coming from inside the house.
So this is So here's. We'll talk about this game in a bit. However, it was bad. That's a top 3 defense. The Jets defense is a top 3 defense. New England defense is top 5 defense. All right, it was 3-3. They lost on a last second punt return. All right, they should have won that game 10 times over. They sacked Mac Jones 7 times. Like, that defense is so fucking good. Sauce Gardner is so good. That defense is legit. And
worthy of having his own sauce.
Yeah. Oh
okay.
Yeah. He should. If Buffalo Wild Wings puts a sauce, I'm there. What I will say is, this has to be a get right game for the Vikings. The Vikings have a much better offense than the Jets do right now, especially with Zach Wilson under center. So this has to be a. Listen, I'm not taking anything in this game, but here's some facts so that maybe you can if you want to. There's no chance you run through the Bills and then get shit kicked by the Dallas Cowboys and not have some type of response, right? This is Kirk Cousins in prime time, which scares me a little bit. All right. But the Patriots couldn't do anything last week offensively against the Jets, right? I'm not taking this game. Like I said, this could be a low scoring game, and it could play into the Patriots' hands. However, Justin Jefferson, you have, Adam Thielen, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Delvin Cook, you have a decent defense. I think they just have way more weapons.
I'm not going to take anything line wise or total wise in this game. Okay. I don't. There's nothing that sticks out to me, and I wouldn't even dare to even tease this game. Yeah. For either side. So, but one thing that does stick out to me is a little bonus, if you want to call it a hot take.
Okay.
I think this game goes to overtime. This seems like the type of game. I mean, especially Thanksgiving prime time. Yeah. I think it's just going to be I don't think it's going to be outside of like it might be a 2-score game, but I don't think it's going to be 2 touchdowns. It might be a 10-point game or a 9-point game. I think that's the widest the gap's going to get, and I think it's going to be pretty close. And I think we're going to see that math work out to the same at the end of regulation.
What's the
plus 1460 on FanDuel
for that game to go to overtime?
Yep.
Okay, so FanDuel has they had a bet that said any Thanksgiving game to go to overtime is plus 600. So any game is over 600. You can't parlay these, so let's just go that game. Again, I'm not going to take this as a pick for you, but that game to go to overtime is plus what?
Honestly, at that rate, you might as well just do the special for the plus 600. I saw that too. I think for the way that works out, I mean, you basically get you get 3 for the price of half of one almost. But I think that one is going to be the one. I guess that bet hedges because if it goes to overtime, any of the first 2 games, you're paid out.
What's it for no overtime in that game?
No overtime is minus 3,500.
Never mind. I was gonna say like maybe you could like take the plus 600 and then like edge it or like plus take the overtime for that one and then but no.
Bet it for a couple times.
No, that's not gonna work. So neither of us are taking anything on that game. We do each have a pick for Thanksgiving though, so that's good. We actually have a couple picks for Thanksgiving. So so then headed into the weekend here because we also have a full weekend of NFL action. What sticks out to you here? The one that jumped out at me, and seems like the biggest trap game of all time, so I'm not even going to talk about it. But I just want to hear your thoughts on it. Baltimore, Jacksonville plus 4. Did you know I was going there? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
what is that?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Something we don't know is happening. I think I don't know if checking
Lamar's hurt.
Yeah, checking the
He's not.
practice logs, injury report.
Practice logs.
Is everybody a full participant? I mean, it's I don't
What
know.
is that?
That seems like they missed a number, right? Somebody missed a 1 in front of that.
Yeah.
That should
That's just so when a line sticks out to you that much, you're like, all right, what is it? Because Vegas has bigger buildings than we do. They have shinier objects than we do. What do they know? Like, why is that line only 4? Because if that's a 4-point line, you should slam that right now. Like, you should slam that right now. But something's telling you not to.
Curious conversation is you can have with your friends is what affects the lines. Is it the performance that the players had last week? Is it the handicappers' knowledge of the player's skill overall? Because if you look at these teams the past 2 weeks, if they have different results, either way, I mean, either team could be the favorite in this game. So this is a nice middle point if you think about it that way, because we don't know which team is what. The Jaguars could win this game very easily. It could be a Jaguars minus 3.5 line if the Ravens get blown out the past 2 weeks. And if the Jaguars win, if they blow teams out the past 2 weeks, if we're looking at two different teams going into this, but I don't think it plays that big of a deal into it. So these two teams are still like, how do they play each week? How does Lamar Jackson play each week?
And so
is he running for 120 each week?
Yeah, he's been pretty good. The difference is the defense has been so bad for the Ravens. So so which team do you think has the better offense? If between these two,
you have to give the edge to Baltimore.
You have to give the edge to Baltimore. Baltimore is second in rushing yards. They're 9th in points. They're 7th in third down percentage. They're not passing the ball a ton. Okay, defenses are pretty even. It leans more towards the Ravens defensively. So the Ravens have the better offense. The Ravens statistically have the better defense. So where's this 4.5? Where's this 4-point line coming from?
Yeah, -4 is -108 right now for Baltimore.
And this is
FanDuel.
This is one of those lines we're gonna stare and be like, well, there's no way we should take that. There's no way we should take that. And then it's gonna be 34-10.
Yeah,
where the Ravens are gonna blow the doors off of them.
I was thinking the other way.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
it's Jacksonville at home. I mean, it's Jacksonville at home. We've been talking about this progression, this arc that Trevor Lawrence is on.
They're 2-3 at home,
and
Ravens are 4-1 on the road.
Well, who have they beaten and who have they lost to?
All right, yeah, I mean, we can do that. We can do that.
Jacksonville. You're gonna look up the Ravens.
Yeah,
and then I'll look up Jacksonville.
All right, so the Ravens at home this year. They have beaten the Dolphins. Who've been very good. The Bills. No, they lost that game. Sorry. These are their losses. My fault. All right. They beat. Let's see here. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Browns. They beat the Panthers last week. And there's one more. And they beat. They lost to the Dolphins. All right, so they've beaten the Browns, and I'm just trying to see where it says. And they've beaten the Bengals, and they've beaten the Panthers. So I'm missing a game somewhere, but that's who they've beaten so far.
Well, don't worry about it. But the Jaguars have lost to the Texans, the Colts. The Texans, the Giants. And where's the other one? Was the Broncos, but that was in Wembley, so that was in England, so that's not technically a home game. But so it doesn't get better for the Jaguars. So it comes back to the conversation of who are these two teams.
I wish I knew.
That's what
I wish I knew.
I'm going to find out by
not betting this game.
Probably.
Yeah,
the most tempting thing to me is the Jaguars +10 over 37.5. But even that doesn't feel like something I want to
because they could easily get blown out by like 30 points.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, I'll enjoy watching that.
Yep. I do think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be interesting to see what Lamar does. I think it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the team looks like out there. But I'm not touching this game. Is there a game that sticks out to you in this?
Yeah, honestly, that 1:00 lineup is kind of chock full I would just say interesting games. You've got Denver at Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's -2.5 to Carolina. That again, it's who's playing. How are they playing?
Right.
What's the weather like? What they have for breakfast?
What they have for breakfast?
It's like you have to have answers to all these questions to know what's going to go on. But but then also Atlanta at Washington is another interesting one. So
-4. Still -4.
Washington's -4. Yeah, on FanDuel, and that's another those 6 teams.
Yeah,
the Ravens and the Jaguars, and then those 4 teams. that's just I don't know who's who in that zoo.
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out. I'm not gonna take anything on any of those games. Actually, I take that back. For the show for
All right.
what's going on here.
Yep.
The Denver Broncos, I think, are gonna just Denver Broncos money line. That's all you need to do.
All right. Perfect.
Denver
Perfect.
Broncos money line.
Love that. I'm going to switch gears here because I'm going to talk about some of those games a little bit later. I like so here's one that I don't like, but I have to take it. Before the season started, a fan on Reddit flipped a coin for the New York Jets for every single game. That coin is undefeated so far. It's predicted every win and every loss for the New York Jets this entire season. Okay? It predicted us beating the Bills. It predicted us losing to the Patriots twice. That being said, it has the Jets losing against the Chicago Bears this week. I'm going to go Chicago Bears money line. The coin is perfect through 11 weeks. Here's why I'm doing that. Because it also has us, after this game, it has us winning 5 in a row, finishing the season 11-6, and going to the AFC Championship game. If this coin is right, I'm going to cash in on it from here on out. All right? I'm going to go coin, Chicago Bears money line. If the coin's wrong, the Jets win, and I'm pumped about that. All right? So Chicago Bears money line, 21-17. I also think this is a battle of the backups. I think Justin Fields, he got hurt last week. I think he's out this week. I don't think he's going to play. That means you have Chase Daniels. I think Zach Wilson gets pulled at halftime because he plays so terribly that they put Mike White in. And Mike White has a promising second half, doesn't get the job done because they're down like 17-3 at halftime, right? So he doesn't get the job done, but he has a promising second half. And then they win the next 5 games with Mike White under center. And then next offseason, they go after Jimmy Garoppolo or Aaron Rodgers. This team's built to win. This team's built to win. So I'm going to go Chicago Bears money line. That's my pick.
Plus 194 on FanDuel right now.
Love that.
Would you say you're a superstitious person?
I'm sorry, bro. I would say I'm a little stitious.
I knew you would say that. I thought of 1,000 ways I was going to ask that question, but I'm really curious because how do you feel about betting on your own team or even on your own team's game?
Well, after the coin kind of came out in like September.
I like depending on the coin too.
Yeah,
it's not you. It's the coin.
Right. The coin kind of came out.
And
in
the coin's
September.
been doing great to this point.
And it's
because I want to tail
perfect.
this.
Yeah,
but I don't want to jump on. I'm not going to. I don't think. No, I talk myself out of it. But I'm curious for you. How are you getting?
So the coin
bet on your own team's game.
I picked because of the coin. I picked the New York Jets money line over the Bills. That was plus 420. I put like $20 on it, and that was a nice hit. Right. So like I've been kind of riding this coin thing out, and that's why I wasn't mad last week when they lost, because I knew they were going to lose, because the coin said they were going to lose. The coin also has us going to the AFC Championship game. And when that happens, I put $20 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl before the season started. If the Jets get to the AFC Championship game, I'm 100% cashing it out. Especially if the coin hasn't lost up to that point, 100% cashing that out.
So do you think that you should keep parlaying the coin's winnings into more? So you should take the 20 and the plus 4. What was it that you had? Plus 4?
So what you're saying is I should parlay the next 6 weeks.
No.
So to make the Jets go 5-1.
That would be. I was thinking you take your winnings, put it on this plus 194.
Yeah.
Take these winnings.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna. I mean,
it's gonna hit.
This show's from the future at this
according
point.
To the coin.
Yeah. We might as well talk about the recap. Of
exactly.
That Bears
Jets
game.
That HAUS Pick.
Absolutely. Now we're talking. now we're getting somewhere. Okay. All right. I yield back my time.
What's that?
I yield back my time. I got to where I wanted to get to.
There you go.
But I was curious for you betting on your home team. Like I have bet on games that the
Steelers,
the teams that I've cheered for. Yeah. And across every sport. But I would say if philosophically, I don't like betting on my team.
No, I hate it, and years
either
in the
for
past,
or against.
Yeah, years in the past it's been so easy to bet against the Jets because you would at least win money then watching the Jets lose. This year they're 6-4. They're right in the hunt. They have a really good shot at making the playoffs if they can just right the ship here a little bit. So I don't like betting on them either. However, the coin's 11-0. It even predicted the bye week right.
Well, so the coin's great. I mean, it's almost like marble races. It's a great idea. I think that if you can find a coin, find your coin in your life. And that's what
Bitcoin.
Chicago Bears plus 194 on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's my pick. That's my pick. How you feel? You take anything there?
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll probably take something a little later in the show.
All right, I love that. Let's go. We got to rate the show. We got to get better at this.
Exactly.
We can't be worse.
Exactly right. If it's right in front of you,
why fight
it's on me if I don't at this point, it's on me.
Yeah, you're an asshole. Yeah, absolutely. One other game that I saw that I liked that I want to talk about here is and this is probably the game of the week. Bengals at the Titans. Titans are getting 2.5 points at home, which is a tough one here because we saw who the Bengals were last week when they came out and just beat the Steelers. I mean, it was like 37 to 20, it was a handling. It was a handling. Yeah, exactly. So for me, this is a tough one, but Jamar Chase is supposed to be back, right? The Titans defense has been better the last couple weeks. Again, you're getting Jamar Chase back, all right? So here's how the game's going to go. The Bengals have much more explosive offense, even with Mixon out, he could be back, but even with him out, P. Ryan looked solid as a running back number 1 last week. He ran through that defense pretty easily, right? So if this turns into a track meet, then give me the best receiving core in the league with Higgins and Boyd and Jamar Chase all day. I think they get up like 14-3 early, and the Titans have to go away from the run. So if you're not able to just run Derrick Henry to kill clock or to move the ball, you actually have to put it on Tannehill's arm to throw it. I think this covers easily. Give me the Bengals minus 2.5.
Yeah, that's another one that I had circled as well. Minus 2.5 is minus 106 right now.
Yep.
On FanDuel. So
it's going to get down to 2. You think?
I don't know if it will, but it could. It could get to. It would go to 2. You're correct, but I don't know if it's going to get there. I mean, it's trending that way now, but I think it's going to stabilize right around there. But Bengals minus 2.5 seems like the obvious play here too.
Yeah.
That's what the Bengals have too many weapons. Samaje Perine. I think he, like you mentioned, I think he's just a great back that has kind of been a first back in waiting, and it's good to have that type of versatility. But whenever Joe Mixon's healthy, you can't not go with him.
No, Joe Mixon is that 5 touchdown performance right before the bye against the Carolina Panthers. Speaking of that, like your division's kind of a mess right now.
Yes.
Who wins that? Cleveland is kind of still in it, especially when they get Deshaun Watson back, because Amari Cooper's looked great. Then you have obviously the Bengals who look good, and the Baltimore Ravens who are only 4-point favorites against the bad Jacksonville team. So who comes out on top there?
I think the Bengals were kind of the runaway favorites at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And the Browns with the Deshaun Watson talk, I mean, nobody knew where that was going to land. So It was kind of tough to everyone, if he does, if he doesn't. And
now he is.
Yeah. And so that's what I think the Bengals have the most talent, and they've really underwhelmed. It's an underwhelming 6-4 that they're sitting at right now.
Exactly.
So I think they're going to be able to decline to the back at the top of that. Steelers in the basement, but that's where I think everybody predicted them to be.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But so the Bengals get to 7-4 this week. The Ravens fall to 7-4 this week, and one of those teams might not even make the playoffs then.
Right.
So
yes, yeah.
Who do you think wins the division, Bengals or the Ravens?
I think that my heart says Bengals.
Okay.
I think my head also says Bengals.
Yeah, I agree.
But if they've played the kind of hot and cold that we've seen, then it's going to be difficult for anybody to do. To win that division. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be the NFC South quite or
NFC East.
NFC East that we've seen, but I think the Bengals are going to be able to pull it off pretty easily. 11-6 should be able to get it done.
Yeah, especially for that division. I agree. Yep. This also means the Ravens are only 4. Someone's only 4 games.
Yeah, race to 11.
Race to 4. Yep. All right. Do you have any other games you want to talk about in that any of the windows there?
If we're talking about lines, I'm okay with the 1 o'clock window.
Okay.
I do want to talk about Kyler Murray not playing since Call of Duty came out.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I pulled a hamstring. It doesn't show up on an MRI or any of the tests. Yeah, absolutely. That's smart.
But the Chargers at the Cards. Chargers -4 is -115 right now.
You like that?
I do like that.
Yeah,
I think that.
What was the score last week? They pulled it. They didn't win, but I think that were they competitive? It was. Hang on here 1 second. It was 30-27. So they were super competitive. They got some guys back. They got their 2 top wide receivers back, Williams and Keenan Allen. They got those guys back. So that helped. and they went toe to toe against the Chiefs, who were really good. They didn't win, but this is not the Chiefs.
They had the lead going into halftime.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Yep.
And they just gave up a few points late, and that's all it takes, especially against the Chiefs. So I do like the Chargers still. I'm still a Herbert fan.
Yeah.
I still believe that he has what it takes to lead that team into the playoffs and beyond.
They're going to ruin that kid down there.
But I don't know. I think he's kind of thriving right there too. I mean, West Coast, going to West Coast, I think he's gonna be happy there as long as they have him. It might not be the best place for his career, kind of to your point. Yeah, I mean, he could probably excel with a little more talent around him. I would say on almost every facet of the ball. They have a pretty decent line, but I think the Chargers will, especially if Murray's not playing, they will outlast the Cardinals.
See, I think after the performance that Colt McCoy put on last night, I think that they are going to be like, "You're fine, Kyler. Get it, like, you know what I mean? Get in there." I'm not taking this game just because I don't trust either of these teams. But if I were to lean away, I definitely agree that the Chargers. But I also need the Chargers to lose because it helps the Jets get into the playoffs. So that's why I'm betting with my heart from here on out. Because I've tried to bet with my head and that didn't work.
Or with the coin.
Yeah, well, betting with the coin. That's what I'm doing. I'm betting with the coin.
We'll see. If the coin doesn't work, we could probably do, maybe not next week, maybe the week after that. Yeah, probably do marble races.
Okay,
figure out how to do
all right. We could do it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm in.
Or if I have a losing record
again next week. So right now your bets are Giants plus 15.5 over 39.5. Denver Broncos money line, Bengals minus 2.5, and the Chargers minus 4. And we still have our overs to take too. So do you have any overs that you like?
Let me take a look. Do you have any that stuck out to you? I mean, 39.5 is going to stick out to anybody, but that's also the coin game. Yeah. I mean, it's the Bears and the Jets.
I like. Here's one I like. I like Seattle, Las Vegas over 47.5. That's usually a higher over than I usually like to take, but this game is going to get there. It's going to be. I think this game's going to get bet up to like 49.5 before kickoff. If you like it, get it now. Seattle has had a surprisingly solid offense. You've had Lockett, you've had Metcalf, you've had Kenneth Walker. You have some solid guys there. Las Vegas has all the pieces to be a good offense. They just haven't been good. But also, I think that the Seahawks hang 30 on this Vegas team. So if you like the Vegas Raiders to score over 17.5 points, I think you take that right now. With that being said, neither of these teams have good defenses, so this game could be an absolute shootout, especially if Geno and Derek Carr play decent. This game could be an absolute shootout. Give me the over 47.5.
Don't dislike that. We have the Seahawks are at home for that game, I think. So the
12th man's in play.
Yeah, so the it is as big. I mentioned a few episodes ago, I think, that I thought it was a big deal. Like, I gave it credit for being as big without actually being there.
Right.
I think it's for real. I don't think it's a gimmick.
No, I think it's
for real. I think and the Seahawks as well as the Raiders, I mean, a lot of splash plays, a lot of 50 to 60, 70-yard touchdowns.
Yep.
So whenever you cover that much field in that little amount of time, I mean, that leads to a lot
more plays.
Yeah, so the 47.5 might seem high, but for those two teams, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Another one stuck out to me, I think we just should talk about 36.5. Broncos at the Panthers. 36. It's actually trending to 36 right now on FanDuel.
Could you imagine?
I mean,
this is Iowa versus Nebraska.
Yeah,
what is this?
Fool me once. I mean, do you go back to the do you think Carolina can score any points?
Yes, I think they can score points. Also, I do know that Denver Broncos have a top 7 defense, probably top 5 defense. They lost the heartbreaker last week. Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm not taking that.
I don't know. Carolina, their history's the track record's not as horrible. I mean, they have in the middle of the year, October was bad for them. 16, 15, 10, 21, and then 34. Their point totals in October.
Yeah.
But 3 on Sunday, and then 25 the week before. I don't know where they can get to, honestly.
That's a game that Nick Tabish said marble races are fire. We see you out there. That's either a game that either gets to 55.5 points or it gets to 25.5 points. That's so I'm gonna sit that one out. Are you taking it over there?
No, I just wanted to talk about it. Get your thoughts.
All right, yeah. The one that I do like here is the Cowboys and the Giants to go over 45.5. Like I said last week, we'll go back to the well here. I think that the Giants scoring anytime the Giants lines in like the low 40s, I like it because I thought it would go over last week. It did. The Cowboys exploded for 40 points last week. So I think this one gets done too. The Cowboys are averaging 25 points a game. The Giants are averaging 21.5 points a game. So I think this one gets over for sure. I think that Daniel Jones, especially it's a divisional game, I think Daniel Jones finds a way to get around that Cowboys defense a little bit more than teams that might not see it as often. So I think over 45.5 points gets it done.
That sounds great. That sounds great for you to take. I love that for you.
Thank you.
I love that adventure for you.
Thank you.
My last over, I think I'd like to take a look at, talk about. The Rams are at the Chiefs, and the line's 14.5.
So much, isn't it?
That's a nice double-digit line. But the total's 44. So I think if Siri wants to be on the show, I think the total 44. The Rams and Chiefs. I'm not taking no pick here, so there's only one other option. That means I'm taking the over.
The over.
44 total points between the Rams at the Chiefs.
I actually like that one a lot.
I think that's way low. I think
it is.
if the Rams are performing to their potential and they're not injured, that's up in the 50s, I think.
Cooper Kupp's out.
But
But Allen Robinson played well last week.
Correct.
So
finally showing a little bit of what he's been capable of, and we've seen on tape before he got to the Rams.
And both those defenses have been kind of like underperforming a little bit. So that's what you need when it overhits. You need the offenses to be very good, which both these teams have a very good ability to be a very good offense. Defenses be a little lackluster. So I like this one here. The only other over that I like this week, hear me out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over 22.5 team points. All right, the Buccaneers are due for an offensive explosion. All right, we've been talking about it all year. Tom Brady, the divorce is behind him. He had 2 good games going into they had a bye last week because they came back from Germany. The week in Germany and the week before that, they had 2 good games. They won. All right, Cleveland has been letting up, I think 27 points per game. They've been allowing 27 points per game, and this Bucs offense is good. This Bucs offense has the players. Right now, here's all you can know. Cleveland Brown is the 31st worst team in the league in points allowed. There's only 32 teams. That's not very good. They're letting up 27 points per game on average. The Bucs find their mojo here. They get it done. Over 22.5 seems like a steal.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I haven't seen a lot of highlights of Mike Evans catching the ball, though.
Yeah, that's he's going to have to turn it on this week.
And Antonio Brown is absolutely... Have you seen what he's been doing on the internet?
Yeah, I post pictures with Giselle.
The internet is absolutely in flames.
What a place to be.
Whenever Antonio Brown has access to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's insane what occurs whenever he has a little bit of photo editing skills or just some people sending him things that probably
what a guy.
If he has to ask somebody like, hey, how do I save this?
Yeah.
Like, I hope that person just says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think they took that function away. Like, that's if he knows how to use the phone, we're in trouble. But I don't know, 22.5. That's the only way I see that not going is Antonio Brown,
and he's not even there.
That's what I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know he's
gonna. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he is going to do it.
Yeah, he's got the last Buffalo Wild Wings buzzer, I think.
Yeah. So those are my overs. Do you have any other overs there?
Nope.
Okay,
that was the 44 was fine stopping place.
Perfect. I'm gonna give you this parlay here. This is all with the spread here. It's a Thanksgiving Day parlay. You get a little Macy's Day Parade in the morning, a little Thanksgiving Day parlay coming your way. All with the spread here. All with the spread. Lions, Cowboys, Vikings plus 591. Lions, Cowboys, Vikings, all with the spread. That's my parlay. A little Thanksgiving Day parlay.
Easy enough.
Enough.
I think that
it's not quite as easy as a money line parlay, but it's easy.
It's not quite as easy as that plus 7,000 is either. Thanksgiving Day Parade. When's that start? 8 a.m.
It's probably already started.
already started. I was there. I was at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I want to say 2002.
Okay.
2002. I was there.
Right.
Went with the fam. Was up walking the streets of Manhattan. 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
4. I think maybe a little after 4. Stood in line and watched some floats go by. It was a good time. Good memory.
Nice.
Good time to bring in the holiday season. Merry Christmas to you. Are we is it too early?
Yeah, I don't think it's Mariah Carey's playing on my radio
that's
for like a month and a half now, so it's fine.
Happy holidays to you, Derek. The parlay that I have is actually for the home running backs, and I'm talking about the Lions. I'm talking about Jamal Williams. Talking about I'm gonna go with Pollard because he is better than Ezekiel Elliott. We should stop lying to ourselves. If you're telling yourself otherwise, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The
screen up.
Pollard is better than Zeke, and then also Dalvin Cook. Each should just get a touchdown. Parlay three. Another Thanksgiving Day parlay. Anytime touchdown score.
I like that
for those 3 home running backs.
I like that. No, I like that. I like that actually a lot. I think those all get done there for sure. You can't probably pull up the line and see what that is yet, but we can tweet that out or something as it gets closer to it. Just want to let you guys know before we get into our bet the HAUS pick, because we already did our hot take. Nick said, David said, Macy's Day Parade. What a rush! You get those floats going, baby. You don't ever know where they're going.
Well, so you get the high winds. They have to bring them down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Could be a high wind day.
Because that hasn't like safety. I really don't feel like has become a concern, like a real concern to like maybe the last 5 decades or so.
Right.
Before that, it was like, who cares? Can you imagine like back in the day, like the first few floats they had where they didn't like know how to predict the wind?
Dude.
As they probably predates that, but they just took the floats out there and like people were like flying away, dying.
Awesome.
That would
not the dying part, but like yeah.
But the people just like flying like the float, because now it's like, the floats are 13 miles an hour, so we can only have these 20 feet up. If it gets below 10 miles an hour, we'll put them up to 30 feet. And it's like back in the day, it was like, just hold on,
just be a man. Like that is awesome. Macy's Day Parade is a rush, apparently. What I wanted to mention, and I don't know how we got back into sports betting after this, but looked like there was some,
under 13 miles an hour.
Yeah, there was some sharp money
on Thursday morning.
Yes, there was some sharp money on the Green Bay Packers at +7. So if you like that, the Green Bay Packers over the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles have been squeaking by teams this last couple of weeks. After that loss to the Commanders, they barely squeaked by the Houston Texans, and then they just beat the Colts by 1 point there. So the sharp money is on Green Bay -7 or +7. So take that for what it's worth. It's not an official pick on this show. However, Green Bay Packers +7. Now our bet the HAUS pick.
Before you get there, I put it in the parlay with my anytime touchdown scores.
Oh, they was
it's +536 right now on FanDuel for that parlay.
Love that.
So +100 for Jamal Williams, -150 for Tony Pollard, -110 for Dalvin Cook.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's where it's going to be. I think that hits for sure. I got to bet the HAUS pick, and I know we spoke about this one a little bit earlier in the show.
Okay, go ahead.
And if this doesn't hit, I promise you I will never bet on this team for the rest of the year. I'm letting you know that right now. Put me on blast. I'm not betting on this team for the rest of the year if this doesn't hit. In what world does this line even make sense? Denver -2.5 at Carolina. Denver is a top 5 defense. Who do we have for the World Cup pick for Wednesday? Nick, we'll get there. We should talk some World Cup because Drew's a good soccer guy.
This is a football podcast.
Yeah, it is. It's football of all kinds. We don't discriminate here. So in what world does this line even make sense? Carolina has been very bad in every facet of the game, and they're going against a very good defense. Denver doesn't have to cover Devontae Adams, which they should have won that game last week if that whole overtime thing doesn't happen, right? And I don't think Derek Carr is worse. I think Baker Mayfield is worse than Derek Carr is what I'm trying to say here. So Russell Wilson has best week as a Bronco last week, I think. 24 for 31 kind of gets him back into that Russell thing here. So this seems like we should be so clear for the Denver Broncos -2.5. Give me that one. Fill my cup up. It runneth over with some HAUSes.
Fill my cup up?
Fill my cup up with money from this pick. The Denver Broncos are gonna beat the Carolina Panthers probably by 15. That's where I'm at.
That was interesting you brought that game up because that was actually my first bet the HAUS pick.
Smart.
That was my initial one.
Smart.
And then I decided that that probably wasn't the best for me, so I moved on to the next one. And I think the next one we spoke about a little bit earlier as well.
Give it to me.
It's the Bears +4.5.
Yeah.
And it's +4.5 is -105 right now, so actually trending towards +5.
Yep.
But
the only reason I think that happens is because Justin Fields they think he's out.
2 reasons.
Okay.
Coins.
The coins. The coins have the Bears winning outright.
Justin Fields is out.
He's injured. He separated his shoulder.
Injured bad.
Injured bad.
You know what he did?
What he did?
You can watch the YouTube video.
No, I haven't.
I'll show it to you.
All right, appreciate you.
But despite the Bears' last 4 losses, I think that everything we talked about, not to mention, and most of all, the coin, I think giving the most confidence in the Bears plus 4.5.
Yep.
That's not a double-digit line, so I feel really great about this.
Smart.
And if I'm wrong, the Jets win.
And, well.
Maybe if I'm right, the Jets win.
Well, I like that.
So Bears plus 4.5, you can bet a house.
I like that. I like that a lot. Drew, Soccer World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. I saw a tweet the other day. It says if America wins, you guys have to call it soccer. I like that. I don't know anything about this. I will tail whatever you tell me to take here. So a lot of pressure. Tabish is looking for the Wednesday World Cup pick.
Well, it's extremely tough now for World Cup.
Who plays Wednesday?
So tomorrow we have Morocco, 4 games: Morocco versus Croatia, Germany versus Japan, Spain versus Costa Rica, and Belgium versus Canada. Those actually, we're gonna see a lot of skill in each game tomorrow. Which
Germany plays Spain.
Germany plays Japan.
Okay. Yeah.
Germany versus Japan, Spain versus Costa Rica, Belgium versus Canada.
Okay.
And so. The picks are very difficult for several reasons. One, this is the first game for all these teams. This is their first game of the World Cup. So we haven't seen these teams play yet.
Yep.
And some of these players, I mean, I think about just the run up to a World Cup, like how the teams are selected for each of those events.
Yeah.
The USA team, it still has some of the same people that qualified on it, but there's some key players that qualified. They helped USA to qualify. That they're no longer on the team just because their game's fallen kind of out of form, to put it in football terms or soccer terms. So they weren't called up for the World Cup because maybe a guy in their same spot, they're pretty equal skill wise, but he's had like 3 goals in his last 3 games, and this guy's
interesting. So they're going with the hot hand.
You have to play who's performing. So that's what the teams. It's difficult. We had 2 0-0 games today on Tuesday, so
that sucks.
It's tough to pick like an anytime goal scorer, which I just kind of put in a couple bucks on a parlay for that. I just had something to watch. But another crazy thing is we had the first game of the day, which was not 0-0. It was 2-1 in the Argentina game, but Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. So it's 51st ranked in the world. Saudi Arabia beats 3rd ranked in the world, Argentina. I mean, it's like
any given Tuesday.
Alabama's not in the playoff. It's like, what's going on? It's I don't know. It's tough to pick these games, but I like for these games, I did have goal totals I like.
Okay.
For specifically Germany versus Japan. Japan's known for playing a very fast and technical style of football.
Okay.
So they're going to be up and down the pitch, and Germany is just so good that they beat Brazil 7-1. That was years ago, but still they can perform in a World Cup.
Right.
They've won World Cups since we've been alive. So I think the over 2.5 in that game. I'll see if FanDuel has that up.
Oh, they for sure do. I can pull this up while you're talking.
It's minus 154 right now.
All right.
So that's really not too bad. Spain versus Costa Rica, again, a lot of skill there. Another thing that makes soccer interesting is the 3-way line, because you have both teams you could bet on, and then you have a draw, because this game can end tied whatever the score is.
Right.
So they don't have to go to penalties at this stage of the World Cup. So it's difficult to say who's going to win.
Yep.
Spain is minus 700.
Yeah.
So given what we see in the World Cup, I mean, there's definitely value in taking an underdog. Costa Rica's goalkeeper is one of the best in the world, but he's going to be facing a slapshot regatta. So long story short, this is tough. My best pick that I have for tomorrow. It's not the biggest favorite. Germany's the biggest favorite. Actually, Spain's the biggest favorite at minus 700. Germany's the second biggest favorite at minus 230.
Okay.
My best pick I have is the afternoon game, 2 p.m. tomorrow, minus 190, Belgium versus Canada. Canada's got a few young stars, but not enough talent to go around the whole pitch.
So you're taking Belgium?
Belgium minus 190. And that's a late game, so I could pick an anytime goal scorer.
I love this, by the way. You actually, and I just said this yesterday. I watched the American game, the USA game, and I was like, this is reminding me why I hate soccer. But just hearing you talk about it, I was like, fuck yeah, Belgium, let's go, let's have a day.
Well, that's what honestly. I don't know if I've talked about it on the show before. I know I've talked with you about it, but like I learned years ago, like people in Europe, like specifically in England,
Yeah.
like you can bet through like your cable provider, like on your
that's
TV
dangerous.
remote. Like you can like pull up something on your TV and be like, I'm gonna bet $20 on.
That's
like, imagine
dangerous.
just watching like telling like Xfinity, like I'm gonna put $20 on the Penguins as you're watching them. So I think that's
and it just goes on your bill.
And then and it just goes on your bill.
Or it comes off your bill.
Yep, and that's what the imagine just getting free cable because you know sports. But the spot that I think is interesting about that is that soccer is slow. It is boring if you're not familiar with soccer,
right?
Or if you've never bet on soccer. So it's much easier to bet on soccer than it is to get familiar with soccer.
I've never bet on soccer, but I'm going to start tomorrow.
But if you bet on soccer and watch the whole thing, the build up to the plays is crazy. You can tell whenever somebody has like very much like a hockey team having like 3 offensive possessions and like the crowd going nuts. Like you can see Belgium will be doing this tomorrow. They'll be passing the ball around and the other team won't be able to get it. I mean, it's just going to be a possession battle, but then you'll have to watch out because shorthanded goals in effect.
Right.
Is where Canada can come into play.
Big Belgian fan today. I might have some waffles.
But again, nothing's real because I mean it's Leo Messi's last World Cup and he lost to Saudi Arabia today. So I mean his story has been like he's won everything except a World Cup, and he's gone out in disappointment every time. Like every World Cup is like it's not like he's kind of out. Like no, he leaves in the group stage. Like he doesn't even get to the elimination rounds.
Interesting.
He leaves in the heartbreaker.
Who's he playing for right now?
Argentina.
Okay.
He's the captain of Argentina. So yeah, it's nothing's real. Belgium minus 190 is the best.
Love that.
And then anytime goal scorer in the Germany game, I'm gonna pick a German goal scorer. I think that that's what I was looking up. See if I can find a little bit of.
ATGS, for those keeping track at home. ATGS, not anytime touchdown scorer. We're talking footy here to close out the show. And Drew's giving us an anytime goal scorer. Okay, so if you're going to put a gun in my head, I'll make a pick here. I'll do the 2 biggest favorites of the day, Germany and Spain in a parlay. Get that one fired up. Let's go.
That's going to be so disappointing because one of those games is probably going to tie. One of those is going to tie.
Stop
or it's the World Cup. One of them is just going to be like...
Stop it.
Okay, here is your pick, and this is going to be an educational experience for everybody.
All right.
Because a player for Germany, he's plus 300 right now on FanDuel, kind of in the top third of the pack, so he's not the most favored. Ilkay Gundogan.
Yeah, here's what I was just talking about him the other day.
Ilkay Gundogan. So Gundogan. So he his name has an umlaut, and then it's spelled like Gundogan.
Okay.
Ilkay Gundogan is how Americans would say it.
Yeah.
Or if you just showed somebody like in West Virginia. Like
Country roads.
So the Ilkay Gundogan is Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan is his name. And the plus 300 to score a goal. I think he could be the guy to take a penalty kick.
Ooh, that's exciting.
He would be in the running with Thomas Muller for taking the penalty kick if they get one. So if there is a PK, which it happens with the video assisted referee, the VAR.
Yeah.
With the video assisted referee, there's a lot of
it happens.
There's a lot more penalty kicks
in the
nowadays.
United States game.
Yeah. So there's never a better chance to score than that. So. Anyways,
we talked some footy there.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Ilkay Gundogan and Belgium.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
All right. Hey, we know we can talk about other sports, you guys. So listen, we might just stick around here after football season because I think some hockey's happening. You know, I think some hockey's happening. I think there's other sports. Baseball's a sport. Golf is a sport.
I did get away. I will update you throughout this week. I got away from the last few weeks.
Hockey.
But again, one of my favorite things is the player point prop.
Yeah.
I did a few of them
for hockey.
I did a few of them in like October. I don't think I did any like this month, but I did a few of them in October, just like $5.
Yeah.
Like if
did you hit any of them?
No, I think I got 9 out of 12 in one.
That's pretty good.
Which was very good.
That's pretty good.
But I think
we should do 5. We should do a 5-player point prop every Wednesday. 5-player point prop.
That's fine with me.
Every Wednesday.
I was even thinking
on Twitter.
I was even thinking we would just
or Instagram.
We start out we have a race for like who can hit. Like you start with 1. And then you got to go 2, 3, 4.
Okay. And if you lose, you go back on the...
Wow, imagine that. I was thinking you just keep going up, but that's cool too.
If you lose, you have to go back to the next level.
You got to pick
till you
So Monday night you pick 1. Tuesday night, if you win, you pick 2.
Yeah.
And then you see who can make it the highest.
Yeah.
Nice. We could do that. That'd be cool.
All right. Hey, we got ideas here. And we got a full week of sports, not just football. Sports. So we're excited. We're excited. You're excited. We also have some exciting stuff coming up. Not this next week, but the following week. We'll update you that. Is it next? That's not next week.
No,
It's not
is
next
it?
Week. No, it's not
No.
next week.
No, it's not.
We'll
It's still
update you
November.
that next week as we get some details ironed out here. We got a lot of moving parts here, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. Good luck. I'll post all these picks as well. Good luck and have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thankful
Thanksgiving.
for you. Keep the Rays in Tampa.
Keep the Rays in Tampa and drink with your family. Family's important. Spend some time with your family, but also hit some bets. You guys have been amazing. Have a great day, Drew.
Derek,
It was fun.
have a great week. I'm sure I'll talk to you
Hell yeah.
on Thursday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks for listening to this version of the Take You Over podcast. Reminder, gambling problem? Call